Well, I finally went and saw Captain Marvel, and a lot of my friends have been asking me, "Did you see it? What did you think of it?" And for whatever reason, I just there's been a couple Marvel movies that I haven't been really compelled to be there on the first night, and this movie just didn't compel me to go see it. But um, my wife was at work, and I said, "Well, I'm going to go see this." She had no desire in seeing it either, but I did finally want to see it, and I'll have to say I give this a B. There's only been a couple other Marvel movies that I put in that category. The first Hulk movie with Ed Norton as Bruce Banner goes in the C category, but in the B category is the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, even though I love the first one, and the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Even though I loved Ant-Man, it's one of my favorite of the Marvel movies. So Captain Marvel goes in the B. Just feel like this is sort of a palate cleanser for what's coming in Avengers Endgame later this month, because so much stuff happened in Infinity War, and people were just still sort of reeling from all of that. That this just kind of seemed like a little filler, and because of the fact that it takes place in the 1990s. So before I start really getting into it, spoiler alert, this is spoiler warning. I am going to talk about things that happen in the movie, obviously. So if you didn't see the film, turn the video off, come back and watch it later if you want to, whatever. So you've been warned. Brie Larson, I feel was just very miscast in this role. I think she finally did sort of bring emotion to the role once they got to the scenes where they were at the Rambo farm with her friend and her daughter, and she was learning about her past and also her, what was going on truly with the Skrulls. But before that, she just seemed like, she was just very, played it very dull, and she has this voice, in the beginning at least, had this voice as kind of like a 14-year-old girl. That's the way she sounded. And, I don't know. People say she's a great actress. I've never seen anything she's been in, but other people have seen other stuff, said, no, she's really good. I don't know what the deal was with this. Maybe it was the direction she was giving. I don't know. But anyway, so, I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe she'll grow on me. I just feel like there might have been somebody better for the part. The production values are fantastic. Marvel never lets us down with that. Actually, one of my favorite things in the movie is Nick Fury. I'm a big Shield guy. I love Shield. I love Nick Fury. I love Sam Jackson's portrayal as Nick Fury. It was a role he was born to play, and that's what I really, when he came back on the screen, when he would come into a scene, that was what made the movie interesting for me. It wasn't really Captain Marvel. The character of Captain Marvel is kind of interesting that they chose this to make a film out of, because she's not really super important in the Marvel Comics universe. So they've made her more so in the last few years, but it's not like she's Iron Man or Captain America or Thor or Spider-Man especially. But that's fine, because Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody even knew what that was. Most people who weren't into comics didn't even know what that was. So, yeah, it's okay to bring it in there, but it's just an interesting choice. Again, I think Maria and Monica Rambeau were great. I'm interested to see what happens, because if you're not a comic book fan, just a little background story. Monica Rambeau was a character, the character that took on the mantle of Captain Marvel after Marvel died in Marvel Comics, and she led the Avengers at one time. So it's kind of interesting that they're making her this little girl character. And 16 years will have passed between the film Captain Marvel, which takes place in the 90s, until we get to the time that Infinity War takes place. So she's going to be an adult. So it'll be interesting to see if they do something with the Monica Rambeau character. I also thought Ben Mendelsohn was great in this. I loved him in Star Wars Rogue One, and I really thought he did a fantastic job as Talos. And Jude Law as Jan Rog. Jan Rog is actually, I've been catching up on some of the reprints of the original Captain Marvel, because I haven't read them since I was a kid. And Jude Law as Jan Rog, which was a classic Captain Marvel villain. Thought he did a fantastic job. The only thing there was, okay, so there's several things I didn't like about the movie. Overall, it was like, that's okay. Again, still number one for me is Captain America: Winter Soldier, and as I said, I love the first Ant-Man movie. But so this was okay, but there were a couple of things, a few things that I didn't like, and this is just me. One of the things I didn't like that they took the character of Mar-Vell, the original Captain Marvel in Marvel Comics, and made that a female character. Annette Bening played that part. There was really no reason to do that. They should have just kept it as it was with the original character. For me, as a comic book person, I just felt that was disrespectful to the creators of Mar-Vell, which of course was Stan Lee and Gene Colan, who introduced that character in 1968. And matter of fact, that's what this is. Yeah, this was a reprint of that issue. I just felt that, hey, they should have paid respect, especially since the whole opening of this film features Stan Lee, and Stan Lee does have a cameo in this, even though, of course, it was after he had passed away. They should have kept the character of Mar-Vell true to the original configuration of the character, if you want to call it that. And bringing Miss Marvel in 1977, and then making Captain Marvel today, that's absolutely fine. But I wish they had just kept that as the original Mar-Vell. I didn't like, and a lot of people say this, I didn't like how Nick Fury, the story behind how Nick Fury lost his eye. With the cat, the whole thing with the cat. And it's funny because everyone says, oh, my favorite thing in the movie was the cat. Well, the cat was barely in the movie. So does that mean when somebody says my favorite thing in the movie was a cat means they really didn't like the movie? I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was, and I know they kind of made a joke out of it. Coulson said, "Oh, I heard you lost your eye, fighting the Kree," and we know that he lost it because the cat scratched him, which it just seemed sort of a forced joke. I didn't like that, and I guess a lot of people didn't like that. But other than that, I mean, the movie was fine. Is it a must see before Infinity War? Now I'm a completist, so that's why I wanted to see this before Infinity War. So as the completist in me wants to say you definitely should see this before Infinity War. You don't have to, but again, the great thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is it's world building film. They take film and they build this whole world, which is exactly what comic books do and have always done. They build a universe, they build a world, and everything ties into one another. There were things in there, and I won't go into it in this video, but there were things in this movie that tied into Guardians of the Galaxy. So I like that stuff. I like when things all sort of come together in this universe, and this means that. And of course, if you saw at the end of Infinity War, you saw Nick Fury had this pager, and the pager paged Captain Marvel. That's part of this movie. So it's great to see that, to get the complete story. Do you need to see it before you see... I'm sorry, Endgame, not Infinity War. Do you need to see it? No. Does it make it more fun? Yeah, absolutely. So, and more than likely, since we're only a few weeks away from Avengers Endgame, you're probably not going to see Captain Marvel on DVD before then. So if you plan on going to see Endgame, and you do want to get the full effect of all of the cool details, especially since Captain Marvel is going to be in Endgame. And I also, again, encourage everybody, if you don't already know, you don't leave the theater until the credits are completely over. There's two post-credit scenes. The last one is really more for laughs, but the first end credit scene is important to the overall story that's being told. So anyway, that's all I had to say. If you got any comments, please put them below. And thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope you get a chance to, or had a chance to see Captain Marvel, and if you do, let me know what you think. Talk to you later.